So today I'm going to be doing my 32-week update, and this update is probably going to be pretty short. I did have a doctor's appointment this week. I went on Monday. Today is Tuesday, so that was yesterday. Wow, that was really dumb sounding. Anyway, everything went well at this doctor's appointment. My blood pressure was a little bit high. It was kind of a stressful day yesterday. That and the fact that I had to park up on a hill behind a KFC far away from the physician's plaza where the OBGYN's office is, and that office connects into the hospital where I'm actually going to deliver. And there was no parking to be had anywhere. I followed 2 trucks up to the top of the parking garage at the hospital, and there was a few cars behind me even, and one by one, once we got to the very top, I think it's 5 levels, maybe 4 or 5 levels, we all had to take turns turning around. It was so bad for parking. So I had to park in Timbuktu and walk really far, and by the time I got there, I was really just agitated. So I think that the blood pressure thing was circumstantial, and I told the nurse that, that when she was putting the cuff on me, I was like, I won't be surprised if my blood pressure's high, and this is why. So, otherwise everything looked good. I'm measuring right. My belly is actually measuring a little bit small, which, Angie's not totally, she's not worried about it. It's not necessarily a bad thing. And I did bring up the whole due date thing, and I told Angie what happened when I went to see the surgery coordinator. And Angie told me basically that there's really nothing she can do. She could try to talk to her again, but it's probably not going to happen. So basically I can't get a date that is earlier than the 4th of June. And part of that reason being is that where I'm delivering, they have strict policies. They do not do scheduled C-sections before 39 weeks. And the reason being is because of the risk of respiratory problems. Angie told me that the only way that they would do a C-section is if it was an emergency a situation, kind of like with Abrielle. If something like that were to happen again, they would take her before 39 weeks. But Abrielle was born actually at 39 weeks in 1 day. So, that wasn't that big of a deal. She was just 6 days away from her due date. She was full term, yada yada. And Angie, I brought up the thing of, because, the surgery coordinator had hinted and said, well, if you go into labor, da 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 da. I was like, Angie, what if I went into labor? Let's say, I was at or past 37 weeks, but before 39, then they'd have to do it, right? And Angie told me not necessarily, that depending on the circumstances, that they might go ahead and do the surgery, or they might give me a shot and try to stop labor. So it's kind of a losing situation, and I've already determined it's a losing battle with my doctors and with my hospital. So I really don't have a choice. And me and Angie, the VBAC thing kind of got thrown back on the table. I was like, okay, well, let's say that, I'm full term at least, and I go into labor and they don't want to do the C-section. Can I try for a VBAC? And Angie told me what I've known all along up until this point. As long as nothing is going wrong, as long as I don't have preeclampsia, as long as the baby is not in distress, as long as there's nothing that they can find wrong, they would let me try for a VBAC. It's just under a lot of ifs and, kind of circumstantial stuff. Well, this might happen or that might happen. So basically, we don't know what's going to happen, and I was really kind of disappointed. But honestly, I figured when I went into the office yesterday that was how it was going to go, and I kind of thought that it would be one of those times of I don't really have much of a say. I've just got to take what they can give me. And Angie told me, and it's actually kind of strange. Well, it's not strange, but the woman that I see, my doctor, she actually had all of her children by cesarean section, and she was telling me that any besides her first, that they got easier as she went. The recovery part did. And I know that the first week is the hardest, and she told me, you've got a few things that are going to be in your defense. The fact that you didn't have to labor, so you won't be as tired, and you'll have a little bit more energy. The fact that I know what to expect, the fact that I know more how to handle it and how much I can push myself, and when I need to draw the line, and which I do. I'd already decided that, and I've already said, this time around I've got to keep up with the pain medication. I didn't with my first C-section because I didn't want to be medicated, because I was so concerned about, contaminating my breast milk, and honestly, it did me or Abrielle no favors in the end, considering I couldn't even get up without crying, and I was in so much pain that I couldn't even take care of her and enjoy that first little bit of time that we had with her in the hospital and when we first brought her home. All I honestly remember is how much I hurt and how bad the recovery process was, because I didn't want to take painkillers. So, I know that this time around that, you've got to accept what help you can get. I've got my mom lined up. She's going to come and stay with me once we come home, and once Sam leaves, I'm going to have my mom or my mother-in-law. Somebody has got to be here, because I can't take care of Abrielle. I'm not going to be able to lift her. I can't pick her up. I can't get her in and out of her high chair. I physically can't do all the things that I'm doing right now after I have this baby. Obviously if I have a VBAC, I'm pretty sure that I won't have some of the same restrictions. I could probably improvise more and do more, but if I have another cesarean, I know that a lot of the things that I need to do to take care of Abrielle, I don't know how I can physically swing them. So other than that, next doctor's appointment that's coming up is in exactly 2 weeks, so that makes it the 28th of April, and I have an ultrasound. Angie's going to do a biophysical profile, start doing those, and she said the first one that we do, depending on how things look, is going to determine whether she's going to keep doing them up until the end, or if it's going to be a one and done kind of thing. So that is kind of exciting. The whole having another ultrasound, I'm really hoping that nothing is wrong. It's not that I wouldn't want to have more ultrasounds or stuff like that, but it's just been really nice this pregnancy to not be as stressed out and constantly worried about the what ifs and the bad what ifs of pregnancy and all that stuff. So that's good. Symptom wise for this week, oh my gosh, so much fetal movement, so much. I'm definitely winded a lot. I've said that before. That's just a continuation. She's so high up. I cannot wait for her to drop. I am looking forward to her dropping so much, because I know I'm going to feel so much better once she does. And I'll be able to breathe better and just da-da-da-da. I just know that once she drops, I'm going to feel better. Now, I hope I really do, after I sat here and said, I'm going to feel better when she drops. But I know with Abrielle, once she dropped, I felt a lot better in regards to some things. Swelling, very, very minimal, and I especially can tell a difference considering this is only like my second, we'll say, work day or whatever since quitting my job, and I can tell a difference in how I feel. I'm able, because I don't have to get up so early for work, I'm able to block a little extra sleep, and then if Abrielle, if I'm lucky and she takes her nap, I get to lay down, take a nap with her. So I'm logging in all the sleep time I can now, because I know I'm not going to get any later. It's just, I feel a lot better physically with not having to work. I can tell a difference, and it makes me have more energy, honestly, to be able to spend time with Abrielle and to better take care of myself. So quitting my job, probably one of the best things that I've done for myself. Yeah, it's been one of the better things in the last few months. Obviously not the best. A lot of good things have happened in the last few months, but quitting my job was pretty great. That's pretty much it. Like, everything is just carrying over. There's nothing new. You know what? For the most part, I'm feeling pretty good this week. I'm so excited to have her here. Like, that's what I keep thinking about. I've actually been going back and watching some of my old videos from when Abrielle was small, like the very first time that you guys saw her, when I did my 39-week update plus big surprise, and I'll link it. Oh my gosh, I'm looking at her, and I just cannot believe she's a year old and how much she has grown, and I'm looking forward to that. Like, I'm trying to enjoy this because I really don't know when we will have another child, if we will have another child. I don't know those things. So I'm just really, I'm trying to enjoy the whole pregnancy thing, but I'm just so much looking forward to this new baby and being able to enjoy her and hold her, and I'm so excited about it. We still don't have a name. We're still tossing stuff around, and I don't know, like, for whatever reason, everybody keeps pressuring us and asking about the name thing, and I feel pretty relaxed about it. I feel okay that we don't have a name picked out, as weird as that sounds, because I've really just got this feeling inside of me, like, we are not going to know her name until we see her. I feel like once she's here, we're going to know for sure. But until then, we can come up with some possibilities. But I just really feel like this is going to be a case where we name her when we see her. So that is pretty much it for this update. I will show you guys my belly, and we will be done until next week. So bye, guys. 32 weeks from the front, from the side, and the other side, from the front, from the side, from the other side. I really don't know how well you can tell, but definitely working on that line, especially like on the underside of my belly.